Welcome to Recovery Unleashed, the podcast where we dive deep into transformation, healing, high performance, and recovery. I'm your host, Hannah Dalby. I'm the founder of Recovery Jungle, Recovery Unleashed. I'm an integral alchemist, food coach, a recovery expert, and also a retired professional Muay Thai fighter and current jiu-jitsu lover. In each episode, we explore what it truly takes to break free from addiction, trauma, self-sabotage, and unlocking a life truly filled with energy, success, and peace. Through my very own story of addiction recovery and raw conversations with experts, coaches, athletes, healers, we uncover the tools and mindset shifts needed to master recovery in every area of your life. This isn't just about healing, this is about unleashing your full potential. If you're ready to reclaim your life, tune in, do the work, and let's rise together. Content note. This episode includes adult themes and frank sexual discussion, plus references to trauma and abuse. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome back to the Recovery Unleashed podcast. Today I have Lotus Erotica on the show. We have had an amazing conversation in the last 7 minutes already, so we've had to quickly turn the cameras on and press record. This one is going to be juicy, maybe a little triggering, but that's what we're here for. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. No, we were like, we better start recording. This is juicy. Recording.
So you're a professional tantric dominatrix,
yes,
sex educator, and event facilitator.
Yes.
Tell me about all of that.
Oh, I wear many hats, and I like to say to people, don't put me in a box because you're going to be quickly turned around from that perspective. People think, okay, she's just this, she's just a sex worker. It's like, yeah. And I'm also an erotic events host and so dedicated to this work. I'm a facilitator. I take people into the depths of their desires in both group settings and couples. It's incredible. I'm also a speaker at Sexpo, which is now turned into Sexhibition. So I think, and also, speaking on podcasts and things like that. And I'm just so passionate about bringing people into the fullness of their expression in their body and their pleasure. And I've just noticed that it is the most potent energy that we know of in the universe. So I'm just obsessed. Obsessed.
So the reason I brought you on here today is because of the work that I'm doing with Integral Alchemy, which we were just talking about, in that taking people into their body is actually the most profound and efficient way to heal trauma.
Yes.
So there's a something that needs to be said. There's a conversation that needs to happen because we're getting to these places where people are starting to say to me, yeah, but I think I really love the struggle. And there's something in that.
Oh yes, that's the existential kink. For those that haven't heard of that book, it's a fabulous one.
So give me your take on the whole thing.
My take on it is that we run these programs and stories and subconsciously are addicted to them. And it might be that it's fulfilling this secondary need of maybe being seen. So perhaps there's this desire to create and catastrophize and create drama in our life. But when we create drama, guess what we get? Attention, people looking at us. And there's this unmet need of being seen and being appreciated that's being met unconsciously through a pattern that is obviously not healthy.
And so by getting the attention that you truly desire, it collapses.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, obviously these things aren't sustainable. I mean, people live out these patterns and they live their whole lives in this way, but are they really, truly, fully fulfilled? Probably not, because around them is chaos and drama. Yeah.
I mean, there was a really interesting thing that I watched one time. I don't remember where it came from, but I sat with it and I thought, okay, so there was a fantasy that I had, which inside of that fantasy allowed me to be so chosen. And I was like, I just want this to happen. And I was like telling my partner, I was like, no, I need this to happen. We need to make this happen. He's like, fuck no. And I'm like,
I love this. Can you share what it is?
Okay, so the fantasy was I want like a whole bunch of men at once, and it's all about me.
I'm sure people listening probably have this fantasy. Right? It is honestly one of the most common fantasies for women.
Yeah. And I sat with it and I thought, well, this is just because no one chose me. dad didn't choose me in the beginning. He chose the girlfriend, and then I was cheated on, and then and I was like, I just want someone to choose me and give me all of that attention and make me this,
goosebumps.
right? And I was like, so I can actually have that need met by explaining that and asking for that. And if he can meet me there in that full chosen, I am like the center of your world, then that can collapse.
Yes, it's not leaking out
Yeah.
unconsciously in the other parts of your life. And this is what I love to teach about BDSM. It's like we can create, I like to call it shadow play. Because you can bring in these desires. Like for some people, it might be an example is like that controlling bitch, you know, that side of you that wants to micromanage everyone around you, the kids, your partner, make sure that they've parked in the right spot and they've done the dishes the way that you like it. But in BDSM, you can run that energy of the controller and it is appreciated, it is wanted, and then it's not leaking out into the other areas. And this is like similar with these other desires. It's can we just fully claim what that is without shame, without
shame,
judgment, without needing to even know where it comes from. You don't
Yeah.
even need to understand the root cause of it. You can just go, okay, I have this desire. I wonder what would happen if we just let it run its full course without holding back.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I just had the full image in my mind of this scene. Yeah, I love it.
Okay, so how do you see doing this work? So it's erotic embodiment, would you call it that?
Sure. I mean, probably more in my mentoring and coaching stuff where I'm basically mentoring women. A lot of the time it's sex workers who are doing full service escorting who want to get into more conscious sexuality practices like tantric massage. They want to get more into BDSM and kink, but I do it from a conscious lens.
Yeah.
So they come and see me and then we do this erotic embodiment type of stuff where using the archetypes, using breath, sound, movement, expanding their capacity to be with these more hidden, subtle parts of what makes us a human.
Which then creates connection to self in such a very deep way.
It is delicious. And the shifts that I've seen, not only in the women who I've mentored to offer this work, but also in the clients that I've worked with, like seeing some of the people, how they've come to me, like imagine someone who is just shut down, doesn't have a voice, people pleasing, just doesn't know what they want, directionless, you know, the body language, tight jaw, the whole thing. And then afterwards, there's just this sense of like, I know how to ask for what I want. I know my body, and they're relaxed. You can just, like, it's just insane. Like the shift, like the glow that you see afterwards is just
Do you think that's mostly
wild.
because the shame is released?
I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of it. I mean, yeah, I feel like this shame, like we were discussing before we went on air, was that our desires and our shame becomes like a ball and chain that we're carrying around with us, and it's leaking out into everyday life through resentment, fear, pain, hiding something. And when we get to fully claim that part of us, it is juicy.
I have a big T trigger warning for a story.
Yeah.
But I had a client that she had sexual abuse when she was younger. And the shame around it was not that it had happened. It was that she had enjoyed it.
Ah, yep. Yep.
And so in working through that and allowing her to release that shame and go, it's actually okay and really normal. And actually a lot of people have the same experience. So much collapsed in her. And it was like, oh, like I'm actually just allowed to have that. I'm allowed to have a kink around that. I'm allowed to have that experience, and it can be abuse, and I can also have some enjoyment about it, and there can be no shame. We were doing 12 weeks together. She lost 12 kilos and almost all her inflammation just from all of this shame release.
Wow. It's wild how hard the body's working to protect these stories that are literally held in the cellular memory of our body. It's just insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. For someone like her, it would be interesting to, run a scene or create an experience where she's enjoying it, but perhaps it's being taken from her unconsciously, but she is in control of
She's
everything.
in control of it.
And then she gets to take back that power.
Yeah. Okay, so why are so many people, and especially high performers,
Yes.
disconnected from this part of themselves?
I mean, look at what's going on in the world. I mean, we're two people here, a part of a very small minority of people who have access to knowledge and information surrounding sexuality in so many cultures and countries. It is incredibly taboo, stigmatized, shamed. You know, even being a woman, speaking around such things, like there is just so much in terms of religion and culture, systemic issues that have filtered out into today, and it's still so apparent. So I feel like that filters into the high performers 100%. You know, it's just not included in the pedagogy when you go to learn, you know,
How to run a business.
yeah, how to
Please make sure you get your sexual desires met, otherwise you will fuck up your entire business.
totally.
So like, and so that, from even that perspective, right? Like, because there's this, you know, idea around, you get these big CEOs that are in control all the time, and then they end up having a dominatrix.
Totally, yeah. They want to release. They want to be able to surrender, because it is so nice to be able to surrender, to receive, and it might be the only way that they can allow themselves to do that.
Yeah.
Because they have such a control tendency that everything must be so organized, to then just go, okay, I can hand over the keys and my power just for this window of time.
Yeah. So, I mean, I run a company, and until I got that need met, I was a stupid bitch of a leader because it was just so much masculine control all the freaking time. And as soon as I was able to like leave the business and have surrender and have someone fully take control of me, I showed up with like way less stress, way less anxiety, able to be kind of soft inside of it. And I was stopped being a stupid bitch. I was actually be able to hold everyone and listen to everyone. Like it changed my life.
Yeah, it's incredible. I love that for you. It's so important. And this goes on to the topic of polarity, right? It's being able to weave in the two energies that are a part of us, which is this yin yang, masculine, feminine, light, dark.
Okay,
you know,
so
dom, sub.
Talk to me about this, because I know that there's a lot of men that think, well, I just have to be masculine all the time. And then there's women that think I just have to be feminine all of the time. And I feel like there's polarity inside of all of us, and we need to actually own both parts of it to be a whole human.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
100%. So one of my favorite practices that I love to do with groups is get people to get in contact with first the hot and the hottest and the coldest part of their body. And this is something that we can conceptualize. But then so for some people, the texture of surrender and domination is like, well, what does that feel like? How does that move in my body? What does the receiving feel like? And what does, you know, penetrating and going after my goals feel like in my body? So I get people to do that, and then I get them to get in contact with this energy of receiving, of the feminine, of the flow, of the creative, of the emotional. And they're moving through that energy. And then I get them to move into the more dominant style of being. And the reflections that I get from people after just doing this really simple practice is really profound. Like I'll have men say, oh my God, I felt so soft to surrender for the first time in my life. It was the first time that I've given myself permission to be flowy, creative.
Because there's shame in that for them too, right?
100%. Yes, we're told to, you know, as men, they're told to, you know, don't cry, be tough, have a cup of concrete, like, you know, it goes both ways. And this is the systemic problems of the patriarchy. Basically, it's not just women that have suffered, it's men too.
Yeah. They need a lot of help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Come and see me.
Okay, so when people start reconnecting with this kind of energy within themselves, what do you notice starts to happen?
Once they start connecting with this life force.
Yeah.
Oh, so much. The aliveness, the eyes widen. I notice that people start to be more outspoken. They start to step into their power as leaders. So whatever their modality, whatever their like method of madness is, whatever their juice for the world, it just tenfolds, which it's like, it's insane. Like I've seen it. There's one woman I'm thinking of from the community who's, after coming to a lot of my events, she has just completely changed. Like she's lost weight. She's got an amazing partner. Her relationship is better than ever. She's offering events now. And it's just from someone who was so shut down and could hardly speak like a little mouse.
Yeah.
So it's not just our sexuality and our pleasure that gets impacted. It's every other area. And one of my favorite quotes is that our sexual life mirrors every other area of our life. So how we show up sexually
Oh, that's
mirrors
interesting.
how we show up in every other area.
That's really interesting.
So if you can ask for what you want in the bedroom, if you can say, hey, I'm starting to hit a limit here, I'm starting to get I'm getting an orange, then you're going to be able to use that same method as an adult, like with your boss.
When
with
you
your
say
family.
orange, you mean like lights?
Oh yeah, this is the traffic. So this is the traffic light system.
Traffic light system.
Have you heard of this before?
I can understand what you're talking about.
It's amazing. It's my favorite tool. So obviously green it's a way of speaking a boundary within a scene, because often we go non-verbal when we're in intimate spaces. You know, we just want to receive and be in it. And it's hard to say a whole sentence sometimes.
Yeah.
So we have the option of saying green. So you can say green, yes, I'm enjoying this. Or orange is, okay, it's time to slow down. I'm hitting a limit. Yeah, something's starting to feel uncomfortable, or it's taking me out of the experience.
Yeah.
And then red is stop the scene. I don't want to play anymore. Whatever it is, it's too much. And that's where you renegotiate or stop completely. So yeah, feel free to use that.
I will be taking that right home.
I use it all the time with my partner, especially if like something is like starting to tickle or it's too fast. I'll be like, oh, orange.
Yeah.
And then he'll just redirect or shift the intensity or the pace or the softness or the hardness.
And then so in life now, I'm like, you're walking through life and you've got to have a negotiation with someone, or you've got to create some event, or you've got to do some thing, and you can start to feel in your body
totally
the uncomfortableness.
Yeah.
So then how, so this is a question we often ask is people say, well, ask your body. Ask your body what is true. And I don't think we can truly ask our bodies what is true until we've actually connected with them, because sometimes it's an anxiety that's a trauma rather than the truth.
Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult to come into the body. A lot of people, like I used to run an event called Sense, which was just a conscious party. I think that's where we met, actually.
Yeah.
And even that, the process, some of the feedback that I got from that event, and this would bring people, just for other people listening, is that it would bring people basically out on the street that had never been to a conscious event before into a space where they're asked to do embodiment practices or close their eyes. And for that, like we had one guy who was an army veteran, and it was the first time that he'd closed his eyes in a group of people since the war, or since before the war. And maybe ever, I don't know, but it was like insane. So you can only imagine the level of dysregulation within his system to just do that simple practice of closing his eyes. So for people to actually turn in and do these tantric practices that are inviting us into the sensations, sometimes it's too much. It's too much for people.
Way too much.
And it's so triggering. Like my first, I think probably 5 temple nights, I was triggered AF.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So it would just bring up, because all of our wounds are relational mostly, they're to do with our relationships and the people around us. So I always say it at the events that I run now that it's like a petri dish of our trauma.
Yeah.
So if you get triggered, guess what? You've found your new growth edge, and this is the space where you get to, it's a playground. So yeah, my first ones, it was just nonstop. It was one after the other. It was, I'd be in a group of 3 and I'd have a guy and a woman, and then the guy would choose the other girl to go with. And I'd be standing there like,
I'm not worthy.
I'm not chosen.
Yeah.
And then I'd had another experience where a man asked me to, it was just literally in a consent workshop too, which is hilarious. He asked me to rub my hands down his chest, and I really didn't want to. And I said yes. And I did it anyway. Instant fawn response. But it's so quick, and it's not until afterwards that you're like, oh, fuck, what did I just do? What just happened? So it was just little things like this, but the rise in my body, like the emotional charge was full on, like tears and like hysterical feelings. But just by going again and again and just building my capacity to be with these uncomfortable scenarios is now I'm a fucking dominatrix speaking on stages to hundreds, thousands of people, and my ability to be with these uncomfortable situations is just 10x'd through this work.
So this happened to you at the start of you attending events that someone else was running?
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So before I was facilitating, I was attending.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is intense. Like, what is going on? Like,
I love that, because I think it is imperative that you have walked the journey
Totally.
that you are trying to teach, because there's so many motherfuckers out there that have not. And then it's like, how can you even hold this? You have any idea what you're triggering in someone, what is coming up, how intense it can be. I just went through an experience. I got decompensated really badly in my business partner. Like, we have alchemied the crap out of each other. We've done so much deep work, and we've got this, beautiful relationship. And he came and stayed at my house and then bailed, like, without warning. And I, like, abandonment wound.
Oh, yeah.
And then I got my dad re-traumatized me 24 hours later, and then my partner like re-triggered me, and so I was like in this decompensation, and I thought I was going to die. I was like, I want to get out of here. I'm done. It was the most horrific thing. And then I realized that I'd sent one of my clients through this before, and I had no idea how bad it was. And I was like, holy shit, like this is the level of decompensation that can happen if it's not contained.
Yeah.
And how dare anyone go and take someone through work if they haven't experienced that level of that pain themselves?
100%. Yeah, and having that knowledge of what it feels like to be so deeply triggered.
Yeah.
That you're just blind, right?
Yeah.
Like the sensation is insane when it's like a historical, what's the word? There's like this weird saying about it. It's like, if it's hysterical, it's historical.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Yes, it's a good one, because it's like, it just didn't make any sense that I was carrying on like a pork chop about these two scenarios, which, aren't really that bad.
I really like that.
Like, wow. Like, oh.
Yeah.
So it's powerful.
Okay, so how do you define polarity?
I mean, I've defined polarity, as these two opposing forces. It's like, is it protons and neurons? Mm-hmm. I think of it just like that. Mm-hmm. And, think of in a thunderstorm, there's like they're gathering these opposites more until explosion. That's when there's a lightning. And I like to think of that like Tantra, these two opposites are building in intensity. And then once they come together in this immense force, that's when you get the ecstatic state. So that's how I've always understood it.
So why is it important for performance, leadership, and love?
As in why polarity is important? I mean, I feel like it's just getting in contact with all of the unexplored parts of us. It's just another form of exploring our wholeness. So it's like you can't be a peak performer and peak love, peak pleasure without exploring all of it.
Because you've got dark masculine and dark feminine, and light masculine, light feminine.
Totally.
If they're in the shadow,
it's
just leakages, and you're not actually embodying all of who you are.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then the polarity, when it plays out like relationally, it's very different, because you need to have that, like, where for a men, like we do this in like archetypal play, like the men are more of like, they're more hunting out the women. It's like this more seeking and finding, whereas the feminine seductress archetype is more this receiving, waiting to be claimed. She's trying to seduce him in. And that's the polarity of the two energies together. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so if you've got shadows there, you end up with little boys.
Yeah.
Right. Or little girls that are just like,
it's
demanding.
It's manipulative.
Yeah.
It's taking.
Yeah.
It's the seductress where she is like sneaky. She's sneaky. She's manipulating. She's trying to use her sexuality for power. And for men, it's like that real takey kind of predator.
Yeah.
It's the unhealthy predator versus the healthy predator.
Yeah. Predator, like being a predator can be healthy.
Oh, yeah, it's hot.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than being claimed by a man.
Yeah.
But really claimed out of love and devotion and worship of the fullness of what it is to be a woman, and not this, oh, I'm just going to take from you, or sneakily grabbing your ass, or, oh, hey, baby, you look so fucking hot today.
Yeah,
it's
gross.
like,
Gross.
That's the unhealthy predator. It's the ick. But that's a man who doesn't know his power.
Yeah.
So that's a nice guy genuinely, and they don't know they don't know their worth. So they feel that they have to take it. Yeah. They take it unconsensually because they don't know how to ask, because they don't feel like they'll probably get a yes.
So it's like scared of rejection.
Totally. Yeah.
Which is why people don't ask for things in the first place.
For sure. Exactly. It's like, would a man feel the need to take unconsensually if they really felt like they would get it?
Yeah.
If they asked?
Yeah. Yeah. So then how, like, inside of this, how do you deal with the no's then? Yeah.
We love no's. No's are celebrated just as much as a yes, because when someone gives a no, what they're actually saying is a yes to themselves. And what a gift in the world of please and appease and, you know, make sure everyone around you is happy and safe. When someone gives you a no, it is like a sacred, like, boundary gift of, oh, wow, you know yourself and you know where you stand and where you end and where I begin.
You're never going to resent me.
No, it's beautiful. It's such a gift. When someone gives a no, I'm like, oh, thank you. And that's what we also teach in these spaces is when someone gives a no, you say thank you. Thank you for looking after yourself. And it rewires that part of the brain that is scared to say no because it's a fear of rejection. If I don't say yes, then they'll not like me. And this is the people pleaser.
Thank you for not abandoning yourself.
Yes. Thank you for not abandoning yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking love that.
Isn't that good? I love it. It's so
Yeah.
good. As a recovering people pleaser, like when someone says thank you for honoring yourself or thank you for not abandoning yourself, it's like, oh, it's safe to, you know, it's safe to look after me. I'm not going to be rejected.
I fucking love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So when we're out of polarity, what happens when these masculine and feminine energies are distorted?
Well, I feel like we kind of just
did
touched
it,
on
that
that.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is like it's going into the overdrive
Yeah.
version of each. It's going into the nice guy, it's going into the good girl, or it's going into the more takey leaky. So you think of it like a scale, and you've got like nice guy, predator. You know, I feel like it slips into those kind of areas when the polarity isn't integrated.
Yeah.
In a healthy
So I think
way.
that's really important to say as well, because it is that good girl people pleaser.
Yes,
It is
it's the
that,
same
oh,
energy.
I will mother you.
Yes, it's the yes.
Yeah.
And boys with mother wounds will attract women who like to mother.
Yeah.
And yeah, that want to nurture. It's not a nurturing, because I would say the nurturing is more of the healthy expression. It's more of this mothering, I need to take care of you.
Okay, so let's say you've got a couple and like one of them, like they're in this dynamic. There's a mother wound going on and she's being a little bit mothery. Obviously it's happening, otherwise he wouldn't have it, but they recognize it and want to get out of it. What would you do?
I would suggest doing a role play around mother healing for both of them, not from each other. That would be weird. But we actually just did this in a conscious sexuality training last week because it's such a common thing. And that's why we're talking about it, is because so much of our relational wounds come from our parents and then we act them out in our relationships. So I would say to the men, they would need to go and find a woman, someone that they could do a role play with to reenact their mother and the things that they didn't get.
Okay, so this is really interesting, right? Because this is actually what we do in alchemy.
Okay.
Right? Without the requirement of another person. And as the alchemist, I become the person that is the...
Like aspecting?
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
Right? So it's like taking
Nice.
them deep into their body and then finding where the pain is. And it will like, when was the first time you felt that? When was the last time, until you get to their childhood mother issue, and what do you need to say to her? And what do you need her to say to you? And then you're just holding that as the feminine,
Yes.
right?
That's gorgeous. I love it. And again, you can do it without. I think there's the method of getting to the core and then finding the little version of you that didn't get the need met, finding out what they need, you know, as the big version of you. I'm guessing it's a similar kind of process that you do. Yeah. So I'll do this just on my own.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can do it with clients because it's hard sometimes. I feel like sometimes we can't get to the depth of these pieces
Without being held.
Yeah. Because you need that co-regulation.
Yes, you do. I thought that I could do this to myself, and I was like, I cannot get to these deep parts without someone holding space for me. And I do find that if it's daddy issues, I need a man to hold it.
Yes.
And if it's mummy issues, I need a woman to hold
Absolutely.
it, to hold that safe feminine or to hold that safe masculine.
100%. Yeah. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
So good. And it stems back to what we said at the start. It's like then we're not playing out these, we're not being run by a program, you know, and we're actually getting to choose out the life that we want rather than just playing out old stories.
Yeah. How does cultivating this sexual energy help with focus and creativity and resilience?
So much in that. So focus,
Creativity and resilience. Resilience
Wow.
is a big one, I think.
Resilience is huge. I mean, resilience is a massive one. I feel like, again, it's when we shift shame, we're unlocking trauma, we're coming into our power as a human. That is resilience.
Yeah.
That is creating a regulated nervous system.
Yeah.
And especially if someone is coming and practicing, you know, edging and these tantric practices using breath, sound, movement regularly, even semen retention, that's resilience. That's reinforcing
Talk to me about that.
around semen retention. So for the men listening, Mantek Chia, Multi-Orgasmic Man, and there's another book, The Way of the Superior Man as
I know
well.
that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, becoming multi-orgasmic and being able to retain semen is the first thing generally practiced in Tantra. And that is because the jinn and the man's life force is in their semen. So genuinely after a man will come, like actually ejaculate, he will have a depletion in energy and become a bit tired and, oh, okay, maybe you need to sleep. And especially if men are doing this before bed and then they're having a wank and then they go to sleep straight after, they're training their brain, okay, I jerk off and then I feel tired afterwards. It's also like a very quick, like friction-based orgasm that is in the sympathetic, whereas coming into and doing self-pleasure and coming into this heart open where you're basically breathing the breath up from the cock into the heart, and you're in a parasympathetic state because you actually cannot physically do that if you're in sympathetic.
Yeah.
So by doing this, you are training the body to feel more pleasure and be more relaxed. And if you do this over time, like I had one friend who was only ejaculating like 2 or 3 times a year.
Wow.
Because of the benefit that he was experiencing, the clarity, the focus, the creativity, and the resilience was just next level. And to him, because he was running one of the biggest men's work, you know, things in Australia, he found that it was more beneficial for him to just retain it. So yeah, also with this practice, so there's an edging practice where as a man, and this is how I'll teach it when I do tantric massage, is as they notice that they're getting close to climax, I get them to imagine that their semen is like a golden light inside of their cock. And just as it's about to kind of come up the tip, you can basically breathe it back inside the body.
I've seen that.
And then they can have internal orgasms. So they can still have the experience of orgasm, but without actually ejaculating, which is incredible. So this is what a lot of men will come and see me because this is what they want to learn how to do. So I take them through like a program to help them with that. We do massage, we do breath work, to be able to have this, because I feel like it's just this untapped knowledge that people don't even know that it exists.
Yeah.
And they're like, what do you mean I can orgasm without coming? Like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing to watch too.
Oh, it is just stunning. Like my partner is really experienced in it, and we've had sessions where he'll like literally feels like he's like levitating. After I'll be doing body work and stuff on him, and also prostate play is very epic for men. Men store a lot of shame inside of the anus. Because think about every time you're stressed, you tense up, clench. And as we know, trauma is stored inside the body and our cells. And for men, a lot of that is in the anus. So
Interesting.
by doing prostate play, it can be very painful for them in the beginning, very painful. So it's like done with the most delicate care. But over time, that becomes a portal, a literal portal for them. And I like to say portal because they will see colors and like have these crazy psychedelic experiences through that,
I
which
love
is just
that, right?
insane.
Like we take all these drugs and we have so much capacity. So much capacity just within our breath and feeling into our body
It's
and doing these
wild.
things. I've had so many people go, what the fuck? This is like an ayahuasca trip. And I'm like, geez, I had no idea I could do that to someone. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is fucking cool. Like we don't need that stuff. We have it.
We've got it all in here.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's connected. So like the frenulum, which is like the male clit, that is connected straight to the third eye. So
Now they have clarity.
Yeah. Clarity. And I'll get them to, as I'm massaging that, get them to imagine the connection between the two. And sometimes they'll see like visions, and depending on how open and in tune they are. But Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Ah!
It's pretty cool.
Okay, so how does sexual avoidance or like not looking at these things lead to addiction, or how can doing this work resolve addiction?
Amazing. Yeah, I was thinking about this a lot before today because I've never really thought about that link before,
Yeah.
you know, but it makes complete sense. Like when you think about that study that was done with the rats and the cocaine,
Yep.
you know, and they would always press the button and they're like,
Yep.
more, 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 more. But if the rats chose the pathway that was like this crazy maze and it was up and it was down and it was here and there and it was this whole journey and they're getting dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin whilst they're on the journey. And then when they get to the end, there's these little dollops of serotonin, of oxytocin, of dopamine. And it's like rewiring this pattern of quick fix, get it done, one and done situation to, oh, there's this whole journey that is actually feeding me rather than depleting. So I feel like using sexuality in this conscious way is rewiring the neural pathways around addiction and what could be possibly created through pleasure.
Yeah. So, because I love this, because from my lens, addiction is not just drugs and alcohol.
Totally, yeah.
It's work and Instagram and sex sometimes.
Yes.
The quick fix
Absolutely.
sex and food and whatever.
Porn.
Exercise, right?
Work, stress.
Everything,
yeah.
So in being able to, I mean, there's a few parts to this, because it's like, okay, well, yes, I can go into this deeper pleasure and prolonged pleasure. It doesn't have to be a quick fix. So now I'm rewiring my need for instant gratification. But then there's also, well, my needs are being met. So there's nothing to hide from. There's nothing to run from. If you're going home and like you're getting your needs actually met, you've spoken them out loud, your truth is being heard, you're allowed to have your power, then what do you need to hide from?
Absolutely. And I feel like our deepest longing as humans is connection, is love, it's pleasure, it's being relaxed. And that is what this work, you know, creates. It's what it gives offer. It's what it becomes available. So, yeah, and I guess in that is the diffusion, the dissolving rather, of shame and of our hidden delicious desires.
Yeah. So there's, I mean, I hear a lot that the amount of shame that men carry is like, we couldn't even imagine it.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's huge.
And then, so that's already there. And then for them to go, like, to be able to show up, like, how do you even get them to show up and say, hey, this is a conversation I want to have. I want to speak out loud what my desires are, when there's so much shame already sitting there.
Yeah. I mean, I see it sometimes, like I'll get men come to me and they won't be ready for a session, but they will want to just text to talk about what it is. And it might be the first person, and sometimes they're in their 50s or older, and they have never told a single soul what their true desires are. And this might be things that are very taboo, like cross-dressing, pegging, you know, anything to do with anal for men is incredibly taboo. So this, to be able to go, okay, I have these desires. Is it okay? Is it normal? Am I allowed to? And just to have me go, you have permission to have desires.
Collapse.
And they're just like, oh, okay. So that's like the beginning step, but it takes a lot to be able to do that.
And then I think from a woman's perspective, like I've got a lot of women around in their 40s and 50s, and a lot of the time they come towards the end of a marriage that's been toxic or something like that has happened, right?
Yep.
And it's like, they've never been allowed to say that out loud. They were just told, they just had to do what they were told.
Yes.
So it's like, what do you mean I'm allowed to like this? What do you mean I'm allowed to decide what I want? What do you mean I'm allowed to like have some desire and say it out loud, and you're not judging me right now? It's like it's so much.
It's so much. Yeah, it's so much. And recognizing that it's not ours. It's not actually our shame. It's a collective shame.
Yeah.
Like even to step out, like I think about when I first stepped out into this work, like to be so, I'm face out with everything that I do. I share everything that I do publicly. Everyone in my life, my family, my childhood friends, my old teachers, everyone knows what I do. And there's people that just cannot understand that.
Yeah.
And they never will. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll realize.
What did you have to go through in that? Was that like a process of like, oh my God?
I think I'm a bit like, wild in life, and I love to be the disruptor. So my inner rebel just didn't really give a fuck. I just showed up. I was just like, yep, this is me. And I just knew. Just knew that this was what I was here to do.
Did you have pushback from people around you?
Some, but I mean, I blocked my family.
Got it.
For a little while. Now I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But I know that the family have definitely had conversations around what I do, especially my like extended cousins and things.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think it's such a gift because all of the people in my life, my old life,
They're having the conversations
They
now.
would have never even
Yeah.
thought about this work ever if it wasn't for me. So I'm like, actually, I'm really grateful. Like I still have all my old high school friends on Facebook and I post everything on there.
Yeah.
And occasionally I'll get some of them like commenting, being like, oh, I used to know you in high school, like nice ass or something. And I'm like, oh my God.
Wow.
I just think, oh yeah, yeah.
They can show the difference in
Yes.
where you're standing.
And what my bubble is currently and the people that I do have in my life. It's good to know that, you know, I guess there are other people that aren't in this world and how they might perceive it. And just especially as I start to grow in terms of my presence online, being okay with that because there will be people that don't resonate, can't handle it too much, too soon, brings up too much of their wounding.
What does that bring up for you?
I mean, it makes me feel sad. It does, especially like if people don't resonate with me and my work. There's that inner part of me that wants to be liked and wants to be loved and like revered in my work and my offerings and for people to see my heart and what I'm really here to share. And if that message isn't received, that feeling of misunderstood,
Misunderstood.
it sucks.
Yeah.
It does. But I think that my dedication to the path and to love, it just kind of, the distortions become clear and my mission is just so focused, you know, and the people that I need to meet, like yourself, they just come in, they just appear and they're like so here for it.
Yeah.
So here for the journey. And I'm like, fuck yeah.
As long as you've got an army behind you, it doesn't matter.
And I've got an amazing army.
I think that, like that feeling of going, I have this tribe behind me that see me, understand me, and can hold me through my shit. You can do anything.
You can do anything.
You can do anything.
Yeah, so grateful. And I have the best mum and dad that have supported me.
Oh, wow.
Like, you know, at the start they were like, okay, you want to be a dominatrix? Are you sure there's any other jobs that you might want to do? But when I explained it, I explained the whole process, the onboarding process, the safety precautions that I take. I talk about trauma. I explain the nervous system responses to my clients. I take them through boundaries, consent. It's so like transformative for them and for me. And then when we have an intention, what can be created? When they come with this, I want to feel helpless or I want to move through this humiliation kink or, you know, whatever it is, it's amazing what can happen. It is literal magic.
I mean, what do you think it's created in like conversations inside of are your parents still together?
Yeah. Oh, no, not together.
They got partners?
Dad does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it's changed his relationship?
I am curious. Yeah. I mean, I was hanging out with him the other day and he's like started talking about something really inappropriate whilst his partner was there to her in front of me. And I was like, okay, I'm calling. He's like, but what do you mean? He's like, you know, you're this.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, Dad, but you are literally the only person in the world who isn't allowed to talk about sex in front of me, okay?
My dad rang me a couple of months ago and he was like, I've just the best sleep because I'm always on him about his sleep and his, you know, he'd like his HRV screwed, he's got adrenal failure, he works so hard and he's totally a trauma response, but he's like, he's come and done this work with me. He shows up for it. I sat him down 18 months ago and I was like, I'm going to release this podcast. It's going to be my story. You don't know the story. It's going to be pretty harsh. I'm going to call you out a lot. Like,
I love
sorry.
it. And he was here for it?
Yeah, he was like, okay, because I literally I was a drug addict for 10 years, no one knew, like all of this life stuff. And I was like, yeah, so here's the story so you don't hear it online, but I'm going to go and do this. And lots of my trauma is from you, so I'm going to be sharing that. So, like if there's anything you have questions about, please let me know. And he watches them sometimes, and he probably has his own feelings about it. But they're conversations that we've started to have because I've sat with him across from me and watched him bawl his eyes out around, his own divorce that I was there for.
Wow.
And the shame that he had around that. So the intimacy that we've built because of it. And so he rings me up a couple of weeks ago and he's like, or a couple of months ago now, and he's like, yeah, but I think the reason that all my stats are really good now is I just had the best fucking sex ever yesterday. And I was like, go, Dad, go.
I love that for you. I feel you. It's like, I'm so happy for you, Dad. That's great.
That's enough though.
Yeah, he told me that he was doing semen retention as well. And I was like, now I have an image of that I cannot get out of my head. But I was like, that's great, Dad. Of course I didn't shut him down, you want to celebrate. You're like, yes.
But then is that a level of taboo that we need to get over? Like,
I don't know. I've thought about this. Is it? It must be. Well, it's because I guess growing up, even their nudity, don't be seen naked.
Yeah. So it's the relationship that you have with him.
It was always been like that. Yeah. It's always been hidden, like emotions hidden, sexuality hidden. It's separate, you know, and a nakedness very separate, even as a child. So, yeah, I feel like that has a lot to do with it. It's like very ingrained.
Yeah. Okay, what's the difference between using sex as escapism versus sex as healing?
Yeah. I think, when we think about addiction, it's when it starts to impact our lives, and especially with sex. I mean, is there healthy escapism? I think when it is impacting our nervous systems from a healthy way, I think if it's sex that's, okay, we're going to indulge in some really rough sex, maybe really kinky because you're feeling frustrated and angry and you kind of want to take it out on your partner and you're doing this really intense stuff, that I would say is fairly unconscious. But if you're like, okay, I want to run this energy, babe, I've had a hectic day, can we create a scene around this where this happens or whatever? There's a difference it's slightly different, the context, but I feel like there's a version where we can lean on the first version and it can become another form of escapism and not actually dealing with the problem because you're not consciously running it through the body. And again, I think that goes back to like friction-based pleasure versus the conscious sexuality version of it.
Because you can have full sexual alchemy and energy release, like full trauma release, like the energetic release inside of that, right? If it's done well.
Yeah, it has to be a container
Yeah.
for that. It has to have a beginning and an end and the boundaries and consent conversation and having this structure that enables that to happen. You have to have an intention. You have to have people that know what is going on in the field because it's almost like a shamanic experience where you're surrendering to the flow of what might actually come through in the moment.
Yeah.
But you have to have an intention for that. And I think that is when it can become escapism or like trying to avoid the deeper problem, is when it isn't that. Yeah. And it's okay, let's just bang away at each other to avoid,
Having a conversation.
Yeah. Having a conversation, totally.
Okay.
You might have a little bit of a dopamine release and feel a little bit better afterwards, but, you've still avoided the actual problem.
Well, I mean, the question itself, is there escapism that is a little bit healthy? And
yeah, it's an interesting question.
Because I was having this stance a couple of weeks ago where I was so angry at bypass that I was like, no bypass ever. And so no matter what was coming up, I'm like, gotta go deal with it. I gotta sit in it. I gotta be in it. And it's like, at some point you gotta go to work. At some point you gotta stop causing chaos everywhere. So a little bit of compartmentalization for a little while to just do your responsibilities and keep the people around you safe until it's a safe place to do this is kind of bypass. You're bypassing this feeling right now so that you can continue to do what you're doing. It's when it is prolonged forever.
Yes, just never looking at it. Using sex or food or whatever as a way to deal with that unmet feeling.
So it's when it's prolonged. And so I had an experience during the week where I was super stressed. My stomach was in knots. I didn't want to eat. I was like, like, okay, so the only thing I'm going to digest is like something sugary right now.
Yep.
And it's like, well, is that escapism? A little bit. But
Yep.
do I need to go to work right now? Yes.
Yep.
Am I going to deal with this on the weekend? Absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just giving your body what it needs to be able to be at baseline. So there's a guy, I can never pronounce his last name, but it's like Luis something. Anyways, he's incredible. He has done a lot of research on trauma and food and the links between food and our nervous system. Because basically when we're reaching for that sugary thing, it's like we're tired or we're in that kind of more dorsal vagal state. But then when we're reaching for pasta and potato, we might be really dysregulated and, I just need something to ground me.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I'm going to go for the chips or the heavier food. It's so interesting. And we did this whole program where it was like tracking the moment because we all do it, right?
Yeah.
We all do it. We all grab for the chocolate bar or the whatever it is, the thing, or whether it's our phone. It's like, can we be with that charge? And can we track the charge in the body? And he did this whole process around, it's like all somatics, but it was really, really cool.
Okay, so I work with a lot of women on food. And as a professional athlete, I had an eating disorder because I had to make weight all the time.
Yeah.
So food was dangerous.
Yeah.
And if I ate it, I would run for 20 Ks or do whatever I had to do. So undoing all of that, I had to do so much work around this.
Yeah.
And there's some things that I noticed in like the specifics of it is, so I do a lot of fasting, like prolonged fasting. And in prolonged fasting, all of your emotions can rise because it's not being shoved down with food. So you can take yourself through a journey and actually find what's there by just not eating food. And then I remember one day having this huge, big emotion come up and going, all right, I'm going to go and deal with this. I'm going to get this chocolate. I'm going to go to bed and I'm going to deal with this. And I sat there and I could really feel it. And I ate the first row and all the feelings went away.
Yeah.
And I was like, the sugar just like disintegrates it.
So crazy.
And I'm like, no wonder people eat so much of this stuff. Because if there's, it's just like numb.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is like cocaine. What the hell?
Yeah. Well, it literally is, right? You've seen the studies of sugar and cocaine. It's literally the same in the brain. It's insane.
Yeah. So then I started really thinking about it. And so like, because I used to be a huge like emotional binge eater and now because I'm so in my body, when I get stressed or emotional, I can feel all of the emotions so much. I'm like, if I eat food, I'm not even going to absorb it.
Yeah. No.
So there's no point. So I just will have some salt water and some butter and do a fast and like allow this to be here, sit inside of the charge.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, there has to be a level of safety to be able to do that, right? Especially for people that have a lot of PTSD or really heavy trauma. It's like there has to be a certain level within the body to hold the charge, right?
Yeah.
It's so interesting.
Yeah. So then it comes back to this point of like, you actually need to get some help. You actually need
Get a therapist, people.
Well, you need someone to co-regulate and hold
Yes.
space for that. Like
Yes.
you can't do it on your own. You can't like, you know, you see it all the time on Instagram. Like just sit with your feelings. You've just got to be with it. And like, it's true, but you need a lot of help to be able to get there.
Yes.
You need someone to co-regulate with you. You need someone to hold that space. You can't just like get some super traumatized person and be like, stop using all your vices, just sit in it. Like, no, it's not going to work.
Ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna happen. You'll find every excuse. And I know this personally. I'll be like, I'm gonna go do my emotions. I'm like, next minute I'm like on my phone and then I've forgotten what it was. And I'm like, oh, damn it.
Yeah.
It's so quick to how it happens too.
Yeah. And it's not gone.
No, it's just there. It's there somewhere. I just can't feel it right now.
Yeah.
It'll come out when I'm at the traffic lights. Fuck you.
There you go. There you go. Okay, so for people who have experienced trauma then, what are some gentle entry points for exploring their erotic energy?
I love that. Some gentle ways. I mean, the most safest way, right, is through self-pleasure. Is doing it on your own without bringing someone else in, because sometimes that can be a little bit confronting with a partner. You've never connected with them consciously before. Maybe you just have the normal sex, you do the 3 positions and it's over and whatever. But taking the time, I find that the going through the senses. So one of my favorite self-pleasure practices is using, like, I'll get really nice food, really nice music, make my room nice and clean, get the nice smells, and take myself through a little sensory journey. And if I have any like feathers or props, and just really giving every single part of my body love, because Eros isn't just sex, it's life force, it's the aliveness that we feel, and then where everything gets to become sensual. Even the feeling of a desk beneath your fingertips becomes sensual and erotic and alive. You know, the rain on your face becomes delicious, and the sound of the wind starts to turn you on. And this is the type of aliveness. So I think people
I'm getting turned on listening to you.
Yes. I was thinking on the way here, I was like, new business idea. I should start creating erotic hypnosis tracks.
Yeah.
Right. I had this idea. I was like, I'm going to do that. But yeah, I would say a self-pleasure practice, like opening the body up and breathing, and then slowly the last thing that you would come to, you'd be building the pleasure, pushing the energy towards the genitals, feather touch, just really soft touch. And then, like, you know, just exploring the entire body. And then maybe that's the whole practice.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
That's all you do. Really simple.
And how beautiful is that when you bring someone else in, because inside of that practice, you now know
stunning.
what you like.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you can use your traffic light systems to instruct them.
Yeah.
Giving them greens when you're enjoying it.
Yeah.
Green. Yes, green. Because their partners want to know that they're doing a good job.
They do. They really do. Okay, so how can erotic exploration become a path to sovereignty rather than a place of seeking validation?
Ooh, I love this question. Yes. So say the question again.
How can erotic exploration become a path to sovereignty rather than another place of seeking validation?
Oh my God, I love this so much. I feel like this is literally my life path.
Oh.
100%, because that is what being a dom is. It is leading from this place of self-worth. It's leading from this place of inner high value. But it's not this place of needing to prove anything. It's not taking power. It's not having power over. It's not feeling the need to dominate or assert or insert yourself into a situation. It's actually this really stepped back, observing this awareness, and that our awareness and the focus becomes the currency. And I feel like this run with erotic intelligence is the key to being fully sovereign and free. So that's pretty much everything that I teach with my mentorees, is how to become fully sovereign and in control of all the parts. And I love that you come from a health and fitness thing, because that is just my absolute jam, is I actually mentor them from the inside. How are you treating yourself?
Tell me about that.
So it's a new thing, but it's like a little thing called Dominate Your Life. So it's basically getting people to look at their habits, their subconscious beliefs, what they're putting in their body, their sleep. I'm really into biohacking as well.
Yeah.
So it's getting people to start to track what is their actual system doing? What is the input? What are they watching online? Are they watching the news? Are they watching all this demented stuff? Like, you're watching true crime. Like, what are you allowing into your field? And then that ripples out and mirrors how the rest of the world is going to treat you. So if you're watching, you know, gross stuff, and you're eating shit food, and you're talking to yourself like a piece of shit, like, get the fuck out of bed, like you're such a fat piece of shit.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like that inner critic voice.
Which in the athlete world,
it'd be rampant. I can only imagine.
the
guilt.
Half of my problems is because of that.
And then that mirrors, right, especially in the sex work world, is like the kind of clients that you're going to get are going to be ones that will start to speak to you the way you speak to yourself. They're not going to have that same respect for you, because it's reflection. It's a reflection. Everything is a reflection. So I like to excavate from the inside And that is fucking sovereignty over everything, over our breath, over how we speak, over how we move through the world, what we're putting in our bodies.
Yeah.
So I like to start from the beginning, you know, through the gut health, like all these pieces. And then people
Oh,
come,
we're going to have such a fun afternoon.
they don't realize that they're coming to me. They're like, I want to be a dominatrix. I'm like, okay, so tell me about your gut health.
Yeah. Okay, so I love this, right? So because we had a really big argument on the weekend, me and my partner, over like something that he said around, you can't just alchemy someone, there has to be other things inside of it. I'm like, yes, I can, and I can. And I absolutely can.
Yes, you can. I love this.
But it's because inside of those sessions, I'm like, what are you eating?
Yep.
How are you moving? How is your sleep? All of these sorts of
Yes.
things. So yeah, there's other things inside of it. He kind of wins, but still I can do it inside of a single session, so screw you. But there is no point in doing any trauma work. There is no point in dealing with all of this stuff if you've got sugar in your gut. If you're like so sick, if you're eating absolute crap, if you're not moving your body, if you're not resting, if you've got inflammation, like there is no point in doing it because it just outweighs each other.
Totally.
So it has to be all of the things together. So
Has
I
to be all
love
the things
this
together.
so much.
It
And
has
at the
to be all
same
things
time.
together. At the same time, because if obviously the reason that people are reaching for the foods is because they have trauma.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to find stability and regulation,
Yeah.
right? They're trying to numb that pain inside, that ache of whatever it is. So it's this little cyclical thing.
Yeah.
And even in my own journey, I've noticed it'll be like, okay, doing really well, fall off the bandwagon, stressful event happens, and then I'm off the horse. I'm eating like shit. Okay, addictions are back. Okay, back on the horse, do it again. Back into healing, you know, doing the thing. And it's just this cyclical way of working, especially as women. You know, we are cyclical creatures. And once we can get in contact with menstrual cycles, our wombs, this is another piece for us that's big. So
I actually teach people how to eat with their cycle.
Oh, amazing.
Right?
Yes.
So it's like, how can we cycle in carbs, cycle out of carbs? That allows progesterone to rise, allows estrogen to rise, allows safety to come in when our body wants safety. And then we can do hard things later when it's ready to do hard things. And hormones balance completely by themselves. Weight falls off like nothing. Like all of the issues and diseases start just disappearing because it's actually giving it what it needs.
It's amazing. I love that. That's beautiful. Yeah.
But it has to be done together.
Yes, it does. Yeah, it's not separate.
Yeah.
And I think it is kind of the problem with modern, I guess, modalities and things. It's, I'm just going to fix this one thing.
Yeah.
But
And
it's
then,
like, no, they're all linked.
or it's not working anymore. So I'm going to go try something else. Oh, that's not working. I'm going to go try something else. It's like if you did it all together, it would work.
This is why they had the shamans and like, you know, they would have these like medicine people where they would have like all the different things. So cool.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you know about priestesses.
Tell me.
So priestesses think pre-churches being in rule, there were like temples, there was pagans, there was all the different religions. Before, you know, the main churches had taken control. There were these temples and there are actual temples that existed. You can go and visit them in Greece and in different parts of Europe, and I'm sure there was other ones in other countries that don't have remnants left. But there were these women there called priestesses, and they would heal through sexuality, through ritual, through rites of passage, initiation for young men having their first experience. Come and see a priestess and we'll teach you.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, when the churches came in, it was, you know, no sex before marriage. You're a slut, basically, if you have sex. And this is what we're still trying to dismantle and get out of, is that...
And men are scared of it now.
Oh, totally. Because it's so powerful.
Yeah.
It's so powerful, you know, and that's why they were condemned because, oh no, that is actually... they're onto something.
They're onto something. We can't have them having the power.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's how much more juicy can it get?
We've covered a lot of grounds today.
I know. I think we've kind of... Okay, I like this. What does healthy masculine-feminine dynamic look inside a relationship?
Interesting words and interesting how they land because I have a lot of, I guess, gender fluidity and trans within my family and circle. So it's an interesting one. It's like, how does that want to present, especially as someone who is non-binary or doesn't prescribe to gender? Something that's really coming from like
We've had a lot of conversations around this lately because
it's
of that.
Fascinating. It's fascinating.
Because it's like it's a gender thing, but then there's also a masc femme thing going on. And like where is the like is there just an imbalance that's happening? It's like I need my femme energy. So like this is how far I need to push it because I need that energy and it's been taken from me. Like where
Totally.
Right?
It is an interesting thing that I've been thinking about a lot lately. But I guess in terms of we'll stick with cis relationships for the purpose of this conversation.
Yeah.
What does a healthy relationship present like? I mean, it comes down to communication, to trust, to being able to speak completely freely and being accepted 100% for who you are, to have them cheer you on in everything that you're doing. So I think that having them just be 100% your supporter. And I think that there has to be a team with a shared vision. So something that I do with my partner is we use this thing called Lifebook. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's a program off Mind Valley. I just absolutely love it. And it's like the 12 categories of life. The 13th category is sex, which I love that they added that in. And
it's funny how it's just come in recently, hey? People are like, oh, I guess we can add sex.
Yeah, we'll add sex now. We're like, we'll add it in.
Yeah.
It's naughty.
Yeah.
But and one of the categories is life vision. And it's having the same life vision, like making sure that you're on the same page with kids, family, what you work, the same values.
The same values. That conversation needs to happen on day one.
Oh my God. I've had it with my partner now. I was like, I'm not doing this.
How long have you been together?
2 years. We're about to buy a house.
Ooh.
Yes. We're going to open up like a retreat hub here on the Sunshine Coast. So we want to host events. We want to have a hub for these spaces to exist because there isn't anything like that here on the coast. So we are pretty excited for that.
Yay. I think that conversation needs to happen at the start.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to have that conversation of, okay, so what are your values? What are you moving towards? What's your biggest goal? What is your deepest longing? What are you yearning for? What is your heart breaking over?
Yeah.
Because you need to know what motivates them. And if they're like, meh, no, just kind of cruising, and be like, all your audience of high performers are like, there's nothing worse than someone, I mean, that's a man who isn't in his power, right?
Yeah. Having a purpose.
Yeah.
And so from masculine, feminine energy, does it need to be man mostly in his masculine? Does it need to be the feminine mostly in her feminine? Can this be switched around?
I think it can be switched around, absolutely. But I mean, there is something to be said for being completely provided for, that protector energy of the masculine that can hold. Because I believe in Tantra, my perspective of it is there's this presence and this holding of the masculine. Yeah. And then there's the receiving and the softening of the feminine. Yeah. And it's like the more presence, the more emotion.
Yes.
The more presence, the more emotion, the more presence, the more emotion, until, like I explained with the neurons, it becomes an explosion, and then that's your divine union.
Yes.
So I think there is something to be said for the polarity within a relationship. Yeah. No matter if they are non-binary or not.
Yes.
Having someone be partner A, someone be partner B.
Yes. Yeah. I've really noticed how when that is not presence, non-reactivity, non-defensiveness, like, and it's just like, I'm holding it, I've got you, I'm holding it, I've got you.
Yes.
Like just so consistently, the safety that is provided. And it's like the dropping of like, and then you get the multiplier effect.
Yes.
Right?
100%. Yes. Well, because his hairs start to grow on his chest. And the chest puffs out. It's like, I've got you. There's like this proudness. And
testosterone actually increases.
He's like, And she's like, oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
And she can be free and be creative and be the intuitive spark that the feminine is meant to be, this mystic, the medicine woman, the one who brings the chaos and shakes everything up with the emotion, and he thrives off that. Yeah. He wants that. And I know that my partner, he fucking loves my chaos. Like when I call him up and I'm like, babe, I've had this song stuck in my head all morning, and then this happened, and then I was really sad about this, and I couldn't open my car. Anyways, how are you? He's like, yeah, it's been really nice, really chill. Really chill day.
And then for us to be able to fully own that.
Totally.
Like, so It needs to be so owned. It's not bullshit chaos. It's not we're being drama queens. It's not any of those things. It's who the fuck we are.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's when it goes into the overdrive, right? It's like that leaky shadow aspect is when it goes into like the drama queen.
Yes,
Catastrophizing and
Yes,
manipulation.
yes.
I'm not getting a need met. I'm not actually being held or seen. So I'm going to stir up, create a problem, create a drama so that he starts to give me attention.
So is it the man's job to lead that presence first?
I think so. I think so. Yeah. I think the men have to lead. Yeah, I do.
Thanks.
We need the men. We need the men to rise.
Yeah. Okay. What role does vulnerability play in deep intimacy?
Oh, it's everything. It's everything. It's the catalyst
Yeah.
for intimacy. I think there is no intimacy without vulnerability. It's just the juice of it. When someone can show you their heart and what they're really passionate about, what they're really feeling in their most vulnerable way, whether it's their deepest trauma or how they're actually feeling in this moment, or a story that they've been carrying for so long and they finally get to share it with you.
Give me your interpretation of vulnerability, because I think sometimes people get it wrong.
My interpretation of vulnerability is being authentic no matter what. Yeah. So your vulnerability could be like more of a golden shadow, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So it could actually be stepping into your power, and that's vulnerable for people that are like, oh, I'm shut down. But that's their safe spot. But for them, the vulnerability is going, I'm here. It's authenticity.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yay.
Yeah.
That was great. All right.
Great.
So once someone starts exploring this work, what does integration look like day to day?
Like how to weave it in the day to day. Oh, I love this. I mean, there's so many ways, right? There's so many ways. It's being more present, more open, more receptive to the world around you. It's this softening of the heart. It's being more like caring, more empathetic, and that just filters out into, your conversation with the checkout chick, or, you get in the car and the seat's a bit hot and you're like really enjoying it and you're like, oh, I love that sensation. It's like just being able to have that moment between stimulus and your response.
Baseline of joy and bliss.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like within the stimulus and the response, there's that gap, and that's where we get to choose, right? And I feel like it creates a bigger gap. So I think that's how it kind of filters out into the day-to-day. And yeah, in terms of like the things that I would suggest for people is journaling, going into a body of water, connecting with nature, connecting with family, with friends, like doing those things that fill up the cup.
How do you personally regulate your nervous system after doing like really deep work with clients like this?
My favorite way is depending on the type of session, but I love doing shaking. I also use yoni eggs, jade eggs, especially if there's been any like contact with my yoni. What else do I like doing? I love doing just like breath work. I feel like breath work is just the quickest, easiest way, right, to shift our physiology.
So funny, hey, how like you can take 3 breaths and be fine and we forget.
It's like, wait, what was I even worried about?
We have like a group call that we do every week for the like people that are the integral alchemists, and we'll like drop in, and I'm like, God, why don't I just do this by myself all the time?
I love that.
It's so fucking simple.
It's so simple.
Yeah.
It's so good. Yeah.
I think we did that run already. So what's one myth about sexuality or eroticism that you'd love to see dismantled?
That it's scary. That it's scary, that it's this like perverted, I mean, it is perverted.
But that can be a good thing.
I would love to see that shift around how we relate to sexuality. It's just, it's so like for people. I would just love to be able to shift that, because that feels like a not truth. It feels like a myth.
Let this be the start.
Let this be the start. It's happening. I feel like there is a huge sexual revolution happening at the moment. I mean, especially with really big names like people like Chantel Otten, really famous sexologist, and she was dating that famous is it tennis player? I can't remember his name, but you know, just she is like huge in PR and really getting some really big interviews and TV positions. So it's so cool. And people like Layla Martin and starting to get onto like Netflix and these TV shows, Sex, Love and Goop. It's like people are starting to watch this stuff and realize that there's a lot in it for them and that they're missing out.
Yeah. Okay. What does freedom mean to you in your body, in your business, in your relationships?
I feel like freedom is one of my core values, is being able to express and move through the world freely, which is exactly what I've created in my life. Like I'm no longer tied down to a job. I'm completely free in terms of where I can go, who I can hang out with, where I can spend my time, how I can use my voice by shifting through these layers of what I think that I was supposed to do. I actually realized this in the shower this morning.
Oh, yeah?
I have a tattoo on my leg, which I got when I was like 21, of a lady. I should show the camera at some point, but it's a box. And growing out of the box is this tree lady, and that's me. And I always had this vision of, I don't want to fit into society's box.
Yeah.
Like, it ain't me. You cannot fit me into what you think I should be doing. So for me, freedom is everything that exists outside of the box that we're told will make us happy, which is, you know, a picket house with kids and a marriage and a job, a 9-to-5 job. Yeah, which I just believe that it can be so much more than that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great.
Is it?
I still want those things.
Yeah.
But I just want so much more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, where can people find you and your work?
The best way is probably Instagram, so Lotus Erotica, Lotus_Erotica on my website, just www.lotuserotica.com.au. My X is the same, Lotus_Erotica. You can Google me. I'm sure you'll find me. Yeah, I'm generally found under Mistress Lotus Eros. Yeah, my mistress name, or sometimes I go by Goddess, so you'll see that when I'm feeling more in my worshipping. And I feel like I want to be worshipped. I go under Goddess.
Beautiful. Well, this has been fucking amazing.
Yes, what a joy.
What a joy.
A spicy conversation.
I know.
I love it.
I was like we had to postpone it so many times.
I know. It's just worked out so well, though. It's perfect timing.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. It's been amazing. And maybe we'll have to do this again.
Absolutely. Part 2.
Part
Thanks
2.
for having me.
You're very welcome.
Yay.